Welcome back to my channel. My name's Rebecca, I'm 30 and I live in Newcastle and you are reporting for Beauty Duty. Well, it has been a while. I don't really have a good excuse for where I've been, if I'm honest. I've just been really living my life, to be honest. But I just thought, you know what, I really miss this, and would love to get back into it, and just thought, why the hell not? So here I am. I'm just going to kind of do a bit of an everyday kind of slash a little bit more glam tutorial. My skin's not so excellent at the moment. How I've got like hyperpigmentation and a few other bits and bobs like that, and sort of talk about where I've been. I'm just celebrated my 1 year wedding anniversary on the 25th of September. I've nearly done a year at Charlotte Tilbury now. So let's just chat, see what happens and see how this goes. I think I haven't filmed in 6 months or something like that. But yeah, my makeup style has changed. Yeah, definitely has changed. And what I will say is that definitely more on the neutral side these days, and I kind of do makeup very much just for me now and how I like to wear it, and not trying to like compete with anybody else or take anybody else's real opinions, and kind of go where the artistry, my own artistry, takes me. You know, and things like that. I am a working makeup artist. I work on my Charlotte Tilbury counter. I'm also a freelance makeup artist. So I feel like where I was when I first started doing YouTube and where I am now are two extremely different things. So anyway, enough of me sort of blabbering on. I'm gonna do a bit of my base first and then kind of go from there. I'm gonna kind of be using my recent, like, really loved tried and true favorites and kind of go from there. So the first thing I always do when I'm doing more glam is I will color correct this area. It might not look that bad on camera, but in person it is, and I do get facial hair because that is normal, but I have a bit of hyperpigmentation on there, melasma I think it's called. This can come down to like hormone changes and things like that. This is going to look ridiculous, I am over the age of 30, so this does happen with time. This is an under eye corrector, but I find actually learning from like drag queens that this really works for me. I don't really get dark circles under eyes, so this is kind of how I use it. Make sure it's really blended out. This looks crazy. I've just got moisturizer on apart from that, and then what I'll go in and do is I'll get some concealer and kind of go in where I want to spot conceal and sort of take this all around. I tend to use something a bit more higher coverage and not too matte. So just blend that kind of all over. I'm hoping to kind of experiment with my length of videos. I think one of the reasons why I stopped filming is because no one was really watching me, which is fine, but you know, it does get kind of disheartening kind of after a while. It's really kind of covered up the colour corrector, which is what I wanted. I'm now going to go in with a Hollywood Flawless filter in the shade 4.5 and take that. I'm not going to necessarily put it around my mouth where I've put this. Might overlap it a little bit. I'll just take it out on here and blend that around. And to be honest, this is probably enough, apart from my under eye concealer, enough kind of coverage for me, as long as I've kind of spot concealed. So yeah, so I am still working on a Charlotte Tilbury counter, and I've recently started branching out and doing freelance. I do have a big freelance kit of a lot of colours. my kit is a mixture of Charlotte Tilbury. I've got a lot of Be Perfect in there. Just like a variety of brands, mostly high end, some Natasha Denona, etc., etc. I like to make sure I have sort of enough to cater for everyone. And I would definitely say my style is kind of Charlotte Tilbury glam, like Rebecca, with a mix of my sort of style in there. You know what? Is that enough on the base? I'm going to do a touch of foundation just because I've been loving. I'm bending down to find it. But just because I've been loving this foundation recently, so it's the Misguided Meet My Match. I got it on clearance in Superdrug for £3. The colour on this is not great for me. It's a little yellow. So I would say this is like a demi matte with, yeah, it's kind of natural finish demi matte with a medium coverage. So it kind of on top of the Flawless filter just gives me that touch more coverage that I like, but nothing loads. It's a little yellow, but that's fine. There we go. Yeah, that looks nice. And then I'm really enjoying, no surprises here, the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Concealer, which recently came out. And this is quite pale, but who cares? This is in the shade 3.5. So this is a medium buildable coverage with a like natural radiant finish. I have oily skin, but can get quite dry under eyes. I have fine lines under my eyes. You know, I'm in my 30s, so it's just factual. Yeah. These sponges, it's a Cocoa Cosmetics by Chloe Marshmallow sponges. These are fantastic. They really are worth the hype. It is the best kind of sponge I've ever used. It's the only sponge that has gotten me away from using a brush to do my base, because I was using a brush for the longest kind of time. And yeah, I just love, something's on my face. I just love the finish it gives. I feel like it makes, even if I do want a heavier, fuller coverage, I feel like it just gives a really natural finish to the face. And as I said, it's really, really fun. I'm going to take another product you probably might have heard about on, if you're a TikTok watcher, is the BFF Pink Honey Bronzing Face Frosting, and I take this in the shade Fudge Glaze, and I have a brush that I've got from She Glam, which is it She Glam? Something like that, which is Shein's makeup brand. And I love, love, love this colour. I love this this bronzer. You know, for the longest time I've been using the Bare Minerals stick, and I still love that, but I just really, this has got to be like the only thing that I feel that has come close to me liking as much as the Bare Minerals, even half as, like, yeah, nothing else I've ever liked as much, because I like my cream bronzers really creamy. I don't like a cream to powder finish. That's not for me. I like it really warm. So this kind of has like this sort of red ledge on it, and I use that to do like where I want to have a little bit more control. So I just buff that through the crease, and I can do my nose sort of contour. Well, I don't like to say contouring with bronzer, because I find that contour needs to be done with something cool toned, but you know what I mean, to give my face shape with that. Lovely kind of glow. What else? Am I going to do a bit of eyes now? I'll keep going with my face a bit longer. And then I'm going to take something else from Pink Honey that I've really, really been loving, which is the Blush Bible. And I'm going to take the cream blush in what colour even is this? And then both sides are cream, but one side's like shimmery. Cream blush chapter 1. What colour are you? I really don't actually know what colour this is. Oh well, it's pink. It's a pink. And then I'll take this on my Peaches P008. I find this is absolutely amazing for doing cream blush with. And you'll notice no face setting has gone on yet. The lights aren't doing it justice, believe you me. And then, can you tell I've been doing a lot of TikTok shop from what I'm using. And then I've got the HNB powder, and this is in 02 translucent, and I'm going to take a little powder puff that I just got from Amazon. The only thing about these, and I do like them, but they've kind of got sharp edges on them, so I find that kind of strange. Just gonna and just very lightly, barely setting my full face. This is very much how I powder flame through there. Very much how I like do my makeup if I'm going out. So my nose is itchy. Ooh, got powder in there. And then the second thing I'm going to do is go in with my bronzer. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in shade 3 Tan. Most people can definitely get away with shade 2. I use that from the fairest of fair, even to darker than me. I just love how warm shade 3 is, and you can tell, like, I bought this nearly a year ago, and I use this every single time I do my makeup, every single time I go to work. So it's well loved, very well used, and I just like the warmer, and I do fake tan every now and then. Actually more often than I ever really have, so I kind of don't like to fully change up my makeup if I can help it. I have a couple of fake tan shades for foundation now because I just really need to, it depends how dark I tan, but I couldn't always get away with my normal foundation, because often when I fake tan it is just because I'm going on a night out. So I'm quite heavy-handed with my bronzer still. And it's almost doing some of the setting for me. So not so much of the layering powder on top of powder on top of powder. And I don't do that half as much as I kind of used to anymore. Because it just doesn't give me the look that I want. And then going in with more cream blush. So this is the ever famous Pinkgasm, again from Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand. And finally have one of these. And I'm kind of just using what I've got left on the dabber. I've not like squeezed any more out. It's closed. So I do have Peachgasm as well. I've got the Pillow Talk one, Beauty Light Wand in medium also. But I have to say Pinkgasm is my absolute favourite of them all. I mean, look at that. I've been getting so much more into a pink blush recently. Kind of that very sun-kissed, almost sunburnt look. You know, it's what I like. Can you tell I've been watching a lot of TikTok? And again, just blending that out with the same Peaches and Cream brush even. And then I'm going to take my Raffi Beauty liquid highlighter. I've had this for ages, and you need the tiniest little like squidge. Even that I think is a bit too much. And just taking the same brush again. And the thing I like about this brush is that if I did have a fully set base, I can do my creams on top with the brush, and it disperses it really nicely. You can obviously use a sponge if you wanted to, but that's where you can end up lifting your makeup a bit, and to look at that glow. And just really all about the glow, to be honest with you. And then where I've gone a little bit overlapped into my under eye, I'm just taking my puff, going it back into it. I've not put any more powder on it, and just, because although I'd like a radiant-ish under eye, I don't want a shiny under eye, and just go back into my forehead, because then it's not, I don't really want the light bouncing that much. And there you kind of have it. I don't necessarily contour as much anymore, to be honest. Only for like when I'm really going like out, like but for the sake of the video, I'll do a little bit of a cheeky contour. So just taking my Nudegasm palette again by Charlotte Tilbury, and I just go between the two contour shades. And take it down to my marionette area to give that real chisel through here. Then take a little bit of the new Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Brightening Powder. So this is how it's designed to be used. It's just to sort of do that extra bit of a brightening, kind of in the inner corner. I don't use this to set my under eye at all. I just use it to add a bit of brightness. See? It's nice. Okay, now on to a little bit of eye makeup. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my airbrush bronzer, and I'm going to just follow kind of where I did my cream. A lot more subtle. But I'm going to do something a little bit more for you guys because I'm filming and it's fun. So I've got the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau palette. It's one of the newer ones this year. So as I said, I am still purchasing makeup. So yeah, and that's what she looks like. I really, really love this eyeshadow palette. I feel like it's one of the best ones that they've came out with in a long time. So I'm going to go into Metro, which is this one there, which is like a peachy brown. And I'm taking this on a Peaches PC10, just like a fluffy with a taper. Top off a little bit. And I'm just going to take that into my outer corner and just fluff that around. I'm not a fan of ABH shadows on an unset base. I kind of like that more for pressed pigmenty sort of things, like Be Perfect palettes or the Beauty Bay palettes, where I'm tend to do something a lot more colourful with those. I just love this. And I don't do my like rounded out shapes so much anymore. I'm very much into the kind of winged out, more of a very soft kind of cat eye. So I'm just slowly kind of building this colour up. And then I'm going to take Fleur just on the same brush. And I find this palette doesn't have a lot of fallout. Although I find that I tend to not have so much of an issue with fallout because I am not so much of a pack and blend anymore. Kind of build up my looks, almost go from do my middle darkest shade first, my mid-toned shade first, and then kind of go from there. I kind of wish there was one slightly darker matte. I'm wondering if I've got anything else around. Yeah, I'm just going to take my Cash Beauty Crystal Nights, which I've done a video on this before and I love it. I'm going to just take Enchant, which is a really dark chocolatey brown, almost yellow tone. I'm still using the same brush. That's another thing, is I've definitely gotten out of the habit of like feeling like I need to use a million different brushes to achieve a look. I think it's because at work I work with like 2 or 3 different types of eyeshadow brushes at the most, and kind of have no issue doing that with clients. And I feel like I've kind of uncomplicated things for myself doing my own makeup to kind of help myself out when I'm doing makeup on other people, because I just don't have that option. And unless I'm doing like some double cut crease or halo eye, I just do not need like tiny brushes or anything like that. So still keeping this really winged out. Just going to take a big kind of fluffy brush, go back into my Anastasia palette and go back into Flirt again. Just change into a slightly fluffier brush, which is probably a mistake because I think that's what I put my bronzer on with. Oh well. I'm going to take Lily, which is kind of a duochrome brown to pink with, I think it's got a little bit of like violet-y sort of colour in there. Yeah. And not really any precision. So I've been going for 31 minutes, so I've definitely gone quicker. And I'm going to take Muse, which is the really dark brown shimmer, just taking it on the same brush again. I'm just going to kind of pat that at an angle with this brush. And always smoke that down a bit. Just going to go back into Flare, which is kind of the light taupey shade that I was using. So I bought this off Beauty Bay when they had some kind of discount on. And I didn't buy it when it's brand new out. I'm really, as I said, been thinking about kind of what I'm purchasing a lot more and not just jumping in on the bandwagon of things that I won't use. Then I'm going to take, just as a little finishing touch, it's a little cream and eyeshadow pot from Charlotte Tilbury. It's called Eyes to Mesmerize, and this is in the shade Exaggerize. It's not that obvious over what I've kind of done, but it's fun to kind of play. To be honest, mostly I do bronzer, then this cream eyeshadow pot for work. Like I find that is just looks so nice. It's like subtle. It's just gorgeous. I would say my personal style is kind of somewhere between soft glam and what's called like dark romantic or something like that. So it just really depends kind of what mood I'm in, I suppose. Then I'm going to take a brown liquid liner and I'm just going to do kind of a baby wing, because you can't really see it. Hey, done well here. Oh, go me. Good for you, girl. I gotta tell you how nice it is to film. I feel like it's almost like riding a bike and I'm kind of just falling back into it. I'm going to do a little bit of Pillow Talk Intense blush. I just feel like oh, I can't believe I used to use this brush. Not so keen. I'm just sort of blending that in. This brush, ain't it? Make something a little less dense. Just feel like I need a little bit more colour. I'm going to come off, put some false eyelashes on, and then come back. So I shall see you shortly. Okay, so I'm back. So I've just popped on some little halfy lashes from Tatty Beauty. I think these are in the style Chick Flick. And done my very 90s lip. 90s, early 2000s. Anyway, it's been so good to be back. And I'm very much like open to suggestions of like what you guys want to see, what tutorials you might want. I've promised to do some like fashion styling videos. This is something that I'm hoping to maybe get filmed like in the next couple of days so I can get it edited before I go back to work. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you've enjoyed my video, and leave me a like as well if you've enjoyed. I'll leave my Instagram handle up as usual. That's kind of, I'm a lot more active on there, kind of a little bit more day-to-day stuff, and occasionally I'll just do a look for there and that I won't film. So yeah, and if there's anything you've seen on my Instagram that I've done in the last few months since I took my partial retirement from YouTube that you'd like me to recreate, do let me know. I'm more than happy to do that. I have some of the Charlotte Tilbury Christmas collection, so I will, you know, get into it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!